We were complaining about the bowling, but India bowled out South Africa. Yes, that's the headline. Sensationalist headline, yes, but it's the truth. It is. So what if it's happened at 287? So what? There was only one ball to spare. The fact is that 10 wickets were taken, and I choose to see the glass as half full rather than half empty. Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm the eternal optimist, Gaurav Kapur. With me, Dinesh Karthik and Harsha Bhogle. Dinesh, who seems to be sitting, there's a little doom of darkness on the left of your frame. It's like half is dark and half is light, which kind of sums up this entire innings, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the way South Africa are going, they could have easily reached upwards of 300. I think India have done a fabulous job in trying to pull them back in many ways to keep them under 300, and credit to the bowlers for that. I thought they also fielded really well. In a way, it kind of sums up the series as well. There's a lot of darkness, but there's some brightness towards the end of it.
That's right. We can. Well, Harsha, you got to say that too. At 35 overs, 212 for three. There's Quinton de Kock, Rassie van der Dusen. Looks like, familiar script from, the previous two games. From 212 for three to 287 all out, you'd have to say that the last 15 overs have firmly and completely and comprehensively belonged to India.
Oh, no doubt at all. Look what happens when you take wickets. I mean, it's 50-over game. It's still about wickets. But the 7 overs immediately after Quinton de Kock getting out produced only 22 runs. That's it, just 22 runs after that. And that is where the game changed. Last 7 overs, only 41 runs, under run a ball. So wickets, big change. Yeah, and I thought India bowled really well.
Yeah, and we will come to what South Africa did in those first, at least after losing those 3 wickets, and then the partnership that de Kock and Rassie van der Dusen have built. But DK, this also just points to the fact that they're only playing 6 batters, right? I mean, Felquayo at number 7, you'd say, more bowler than batter being his primary skill. That's what happens because they got that great partnership at the 4th wicket. But then after that, there's just nobody. You're looking down pretty much the barrel then, right?
Absolutely. And we've been speaking about this, the fact that South Africa have a very ordinary batting beyond number 6. I mean, in many ways, even for India, it's going to be the same case because obviously our batting lacks the venom post number 6, but we're playing 6 pure batters. It's good to see Shreyas Iyer get a bowl. I think that was very interesting, and I think he did a decent job. And it's Harsha was speaking about the fact that you always need someone to roll their arm over, and I think Shreyas has shown that he can do that. And South Africa's batting very, very, in many ways, epitomizes what we were speaking about, the fact that, you lose a wicket and then things tend to look very, very bleak. And they were cruising at a stage. I mean, the last 15 overs, they've hardly got 73 runs, which goes to show that, we have bowled really well. But it also goes to show the last 3-4 wickets just fell in a bit of a hurry. And that goes to show that their batting is very weak. Prasid bowled well. I mean, towards the end, he managed to pick up all the 3 wickets, to be fair. But it wasn't like, he was put under pressure as a bowler. The bowling, obviously, it lacked venom and, it didn't do very well in the first, majority of the first 35 overs. But we were able to pull it back thanks to that 1 wicket Bumrah got. And then we just got on a roll. And as they say, the rest is history. In this game, I think the batting was a bit of history post that.
We must talk about de Kock and that fantastic century, Harsha. He likes India and not in a way that we want him to like India.
I think there might be a franchise or two that might like him in a couple of months' time, but till such time, no. not till then. But look, this is the story of one partnership. And I think the lesson here for India when we come back to chase is one partnership gets set, you can get to 280. Really, if you see, there's a little bit of this and that, but there's one partnership that's allowed them to get to a total of 280 with everyone just chipping in here and there. So if you get set, the story here is just keep going all the way. You still take 2 wickets in the power play. It means that post that partnership, there is nothing to follow. So you still need those wickets up front, still need to hold wickets up front. On Shreyas Iyer, I like Shreyas Iyer, the off spinner, better than I like Shreyas Iyer, the leg spinner. He tried doing a little bit of that as well. But I thought as the track, I don't know, Dick, did slow down a little bit, wickets going down. I thought he bowled all right with the off breaks,
Oh, he did. I mean, he was doing the clever thing of trying to bowl off spin to left-handers, leg spin to right-handers. He tried, but with the 5 fielders being in, it's a bit of a tough kick to bowl leg spin to a set batter. But like, I have a feeling the wickets gotten a little slow. 290 is the pass score that I thought they would get, and they've gotten there, which pretty much says that they've gotten the pass score that's required. Now they need to bowl out of their, probably a little better than what they've done, which actually, to be fair, they have bowled well. But right now they've rested a few players, so it's going to be very interesting because I feel their bowling is also very light with Magala and Wayne Pretorius coming in. There's a lot of opportunity for you to put pressure on their bowling. So it's going to be a very interesting chase for us. But to answer Harsha's question, I did think as well, Harsha, that the wicket got slightly slower.
Yeah, and they're not playing Shamsi. So South Africa is not playing Shamsi. No. It's not that they rested him or dropped him. Apparently, he has a groin niggle or something, which is why he's not been able to play. Because before we knew that, we were looking at their team selection and saying, is there a cue there? Is there a cue that they've only played one spinner? But it looked like it was assisting the slower bowlers. Even Chahal was managing to get a little bit of turn. But let's just come back to this partnership. Because at 70 for 3, Indian fans were beginning to hope, as Harsha and DK have pointed out, that, not much batting to follow after that wicket. So you're just looking at getting that one wicket. I'm sure the 11 on the field are looking to get that one wicket. And in the face of that, when you get a 144-run partnership at a run a ball, that's just how crucial this is, Harsha, because we've seen it. After that wicket fell, it kind of, the car just kind of rolled off the cliff. That's why this partnership becomes even more significant in the run of play.
There were a couple of moments there. I think soon after, what was score 86, there was a little outside edge of Rassie. I think there was a bit of deflection that made it difficult for Rishabh Pant to hang on. That was when Jayant Yadav was bowling. And I think Surya could have done a little better with the run-out chance against Quinton de Kock when he was 58. So those two chances, I think, would have made a difference. But from South Africa's point of view, what they did well was not only did they score 140, but they scored them at run a ball. And Indian bowling went through a phase when it seemed a little directionless. At all times, you're waiting for Bumrah to come back. And I thought his use of Deepak Chahar was very interesting. He bowled him 7 overs up front, brought him back for 1 over, expensive, never went back to him again. So it was very interesting use of Deepak Chahar, almost like he was telling him, look, give me everything you want up front. I'm not going to come back at you. I'm not going to come back for you. I think it was given to KL Rahul as well, that he was able to close the game after 36. Yeah. But yeah. I thought, well as India fielded, if those couple of little things had gone the other way, we're saying India did well to keep South Africa down to 287, but they wouldn't have got to 287.
Yeah, it's you're saying that after where this partnership,
where they were at 35.
Africa. Yeah, where at 35 overs, you're saying it's great. They pulled them down to below 300. But when you look at 70 for 3, and you're looking at just that one wicket, yes, that entire spell of play. And they seem to do that, DK. They've done it in all 3 games. And they do it, they specifically time it to our 2 com boxes. I'm not saying, I'm saying they're doing it to our com boxes. They give us hope around the first com box, and then they take that hope away up till the 35th over with a second com box. They're just owning that real estate in the middle, aren't they, South Africa?
Most definitely. It works both ways. I think, India obviously don't have the teeth to bite in those middle overs with the kind of bowlers they have. That's always a talking point there. But that's very easily said, I feel. That's just thrown out there. But the key is, how do you pick up wickets? What do you require for you to pick up wickets with a Kookaburra ball with no seam out there? It's pretty much, into the ball, and that thing happens off the wicket. So how do you get wickets if there's no turn? That is the big question. So are we looking at talent which is able to get wickets in that middle stage? Do we need to do something different in terms of changing up the lines a little differently and setting very different fields? Or are we just going to wait, wherein if there is a bit of help in terms of conditions where the ball is swinging, then are we looking at some, bringing Deepak Chahar back in the middle? So these are the questions that they need to answer, because at this point of time, generally the middle overs is owned by spinners, but the spinners even today have managed just the 1 wicket. They bowled 19 overs. If you add Shreyas's 3 overs, it's about 22 overs between them. They've bowled, to be fair, at a very decent run rate. I mean, almost 5 runs an over, but they weren't able to get the wickets that you need out of them. So that's the problem right now. How do you get wickets out of spinners? That is a big question, because fast bowlers will do damage up front and at the death as well. But in between, who is going to break those partnerships? Who is that wicket-taking bowler? Now, that is the big question that India will be needing to answer.
Well, these 3 games have got no wickets from spin. What is it, 3 wickets to India for spin? in 6 games, closing into whatever, 55, 60 overs, only 3 wickets. So that has been a problem this series, hasn't it, Harsha? And it's not like the wickets have not helped at all.
And
Right? It's not like they're bowling at Perth from the 90s.
No, I think the batsmen back themselves, because sometimes if you can strangle, even if the spinners can strangle the runs in the middle overs, they can then force the batsman to try and go on the offensive and pick up a wicket somewhere there. So sometimes strangling runs can actually lead to wickets. So while the economy rates have been pretty good, Chahal 5.2, Jayant Yadav 5.3, you never really got the impression that South Africa are wondering where the next run's going to come from. So they were able to bide their time. I thought Jayant Yadav was impressive, he in parts, because he doesn't look like he's putting too much on the ball, and yet he was getting the batsman to play and miss. But from time to time, he was going for runs as well. The pressure was going off, a bit like Prasidh Krishna. Sometimes the pressure just goes off. But okay, let's look at it this way. From 35 onwards, India will be happy. From 15 onwards, South Africa will be happy. If 70 for 3, 280, they're very happy. 212 for 3, 280, India are happy.
Yeah, but at the end of the game, who's going to be happy? Because the fact is that even though it's broken up, you only got 70 in the first, 15. You lost those 3 wickets. And then after that, that good partnership, and they're just doing this. They just somehow, forget the period of play, forget the spin pace, not getting a wicket. I just think that the resolve that South Africa has shown now in every game to put a partnership together when things are a bit in trouble. When the car goes into sand, they kind of get into 4-wheel drive with that one partnership and show a lot of resolve, DK, and kind of pull the car out.
Most definitely, I think. I'm very impressed. I think the key batsman for them that, in white ball cricket that has made a fabulous difference to their batting is Rassie van der Dussen. In almost both the white ball formats, he's somebody who they can rely upon. He gets runs irrespective of the situation. All 3 games, the first one was tremendous pressure. They were like literally 20, 30 for 3. The second one was the chasing down a total. He responded there as well. And this game, again, a slightly different situation, but again, he's responded positively. Even in the T20 World Cup against Australia, against England, he played a fabulous knock. He's showing glimpses of what a quality white ball batsman he is. And credit to him for that. We all know how good Quinton de Kock has been. He averages over 45, so you expect some sort of class from him. And Temba Bavuma spoke about this before the series, that he expects Quinton de Kock to do something special because it's an important series for him. And I think definitely de Kock has, in many ways answered all the questions that were thrown at him, just the way he's batted in these last 2 games. And that is good to watch because he's a quality player. There's no doubt about it. And for sure, everybody by now knows that he loves batting against India. Getting 616 innings is no joke. And he fancies himself every time he plays against India.
I think they were that close. They were that close to losing Quinton de Kock at the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
Didn't play a game. Can you imagine not playing a game for your country at a World Cup and taking a stance against a very, very popular movement? I thought they'd lost Quinton de Kock because it was exactly the kind of thing that inflames passions. And I think someone had a calm head. And look what a difference he makes to that side. I mean, Quinton de Kock out of this white ball side, even when they're playing at full strength with the Rabadas and Nokias and everybody, when they're playing at full strength, Quinton de Kock is still a pillar, and you can see that this South African side needs him.
Before the first game, we did have a chat about, how QDK would come back into the squad and how, after he took that stand, whether it was, was it politically correct what he did at that point? Well, he just spoke his heart, and he did. And there was a Bavuma quote, which was, before the first game. And Bavuma said that QDK has a point to prove, right? And he didn't say it's on the cricket field or off the field. I think QDK just had a point to prove. I think that Bavuma's captaincy of just how he has shepherded the whole situation, so to speak, how he's handled the whole situation, it's required, isn't it, DK? You need that, because I'm sure that Quinton de Kock also must have felt a bit hiccupy when he was coming back into, this team, putting on the colors, coming back, saying that there can be fingers pointed at him, saying you deserted us in a World Cup, right? It's very easy for team members to kind of put that finger up. I think credit to Bavuma as well, of course to de Kock, but also to Bavuma as well.
Yep, I think Bavuma, as I said, tactically has been solid in this series, but more importantly, I think he dealt with the situation, which was a rather sensitive situation during the World Cup in a very calm and sensitive and a perfect manner, if at all you could say that. I think, the way he took care of that situation right from the press. I mean, right from the, I think it was the end of the match presentation where he started speaking about it. The way he handled it was fabulous because he was thrown the question right away. I don't even think he would have been prepared for it, but he backed the player then and there. And he said, at the end of the day, he's a brother, he's a part of a team, and we'll take care. And after that, I think there was obviously a bit of a talk going back and forth between CSA and Quinton de Kock, but the issue kind of got sorted very amicably, and that was good to see. Now he goes to the test series. After the first test, he's supposed to take a break, but then interestingly decided that he's going to quit test cricket completely. Now that was a big decision. I think he's a key player for them, and he's moving on. Yeah. I don't think many people saw that coming, but it's good to see him doing so well in white ball cricket, and white ball cricket in South Africa definitely needs a Quinton de Kock.
So Quinton de Kock is Gaurav, also need to look at it in the context of what's happening with the coach. Look, there's two people charged with putting things right, the captain and the coach. Look what situation the coach is in. They have this commission, this hearing that's been going on for a year, where his teammates have leveled allegations against him that are considered serious enough for them to appoint a separate commission to probe Mark Boucher. Cricket South Africa, who employs Mark Boucher, has actually said that he's well, I don't know if they use the word guilty, but they've said that his behavior was inappropriate and his job might be on the line. So, the captain is dealing with the fact that there's a coach who's in a vulnerable position, his lead players in a vulnerable position. It wasn't only Quinton de Kock, but Mark Boucher's also going through a very difficult phase.
Yeah, well, I tell you something, that Bavuma is standing tall and taking and handling all of this, all 5 feet and few inches of him is really standing tall and showing what kind of leader he is. But yes, the way that it has been handled, I think Quinton de Kock is South Africa's Virat Kohli, right? In terms of the number of bombshells he's dropped in the last few months. Virat, of course, is the chart topper because he's been dropping a bombshell every few weeks, but Quinton's dropped a few as well. Today, let's talk about not the drops, but the catching. Shreyas Iyer, good catch, a couple of run-outs. I think, DK, the fact that everybody was kind of upset about the first game, saying leveling this kind of no intensity in the field from the 11. I think today they'd be happy. I think there was intensity in the field for sure.
100%. I think you could definitely see that the quality of fielding went a notch up. This is what we're used to seeing with the Indian team, diving around, throwing themselves and making sure they get those half chances. Rituraj Gaikwad, a very good catch against Shreyas Iyer, making sure that he held on to one that he had to, obviously made it look far easier than what it was. He's a very, very gifted fielder again. It was just a quality fielding display from a quality Indian side, which we're all used to. When it drops is when we have a problem, which it did in the first couple of games. But now they come back to what they're doing, what they're used to doing so well.
Well, India's batting now. Let's have a look at, there's the extra batter that's played today. 288 is what India needs to get 2-1 into this series. At least put their name on the board there. And there's Rahul, Shikhar up there, Virat, Shreyas, Rishabh, and Surya Kumar Yadav. First up, is this, Harsha, the batting order that you think you'd see with Sky play at 6?
Yes, I think so. I think so simply because you've got Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer there. Sky is perfectly suited to play that role should it come to it. Suppose he's coming in the 38th, 40th over, you needing 8, 9 and over. He's perfectly suited to play that role. I think India is happy with Rishabh Pant at 4. That's a call that India seemed to have taken. Because I would have thought Shreyas Iyer 4, Rishabh Pant 5, or maybe even give Pant the finisher's role. But they've clearly decided they want him to play that number 4 role. So if that is given, then I think between Shreyas and Surya, you're better off playing Shreyas at 5, Surya at 6. But this is the kind of run chase that the master chaser in his pomp used to sit with Rajma Chawal at his table and demolish it quite easily. This is
a long time since he ate rice, though. I tell you that.
I know. I saw him in Sri Lanka. We'd all been invited to function together. Doesn't happen too often these days. But there I am standing in the buffet queue, small little crowd, and there's Virat in front of me. And I said, "Aap kuch khate nahi ho?" Yeah. He wasn't eating. He was just picking whatever he could eat. He was that careful. So Rajma Chawal is figurative for a Delhi boy who sort of polishes it off. This run chase, this surface, Virat in form. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, you'd want to. Just a quick question, DK, because Rishabh's been playing at 4. We have spoken about Shreyas playing at 4. Who do you like seeing at 4? Shreyas or Rishabh? Because Rishabh has got, the 85 in the previous innings. But who would you like in the long term, in the long run, to see at 4?
I'll answer that part in two parts. I think how the batting order right now works is if there's a wicket that falls before the
Right,
first
left.
10 overs. So suppose, right. Not right, left actually. If there are 2 wickets before the first 10 overs, like 20, 30 for 2 in the 8th over, then I have a feeling Shreyas will walk in. Whereas if they cross the 10, 15 over barrier, then Rishabh walks in at number 4. And that's the kind of role they've kept for both of them. And I think it's fair because I think they want Rishabh to bat like how he did in the second match. I think that's a special attribute, and he has that. He has his place most secure. He has the kind of shots that could trouble spinners when they bowl in the middle. He obviously can take on most spinners in the world. So that's the role they want him to do, and he's really good at, and he will be doing that. Shreyas will obviously go in if a wicket falls early for number 4. But whereas that doesn't happen, then he'll be pushed down the order, and then he'll be looking to obviously make sure that if a few wickets fall, he'll arrest the fall of wickets. If not, then I think it'll be a case of him batting at 5 and taking on the bowling at whatever situation he comes.
The other thing I want to see is KL Rahul stamp himself on the game.
Yeah.
If they're going to go back with Markram to open the bowling on that surface, then KL Rahul's got to say, excuse me, but I'm not going to let that happen. So I'd like to see
enough
KL
for
Rahul,
you, lad.
I mean, without being reckless about it, I think KL Rahul has the game to dominate a run chase. Rather than being the sheet anchor in the run chase, but to dominate the run chase, especially if you've got an off spinner who's looking better by the day, but is still largely a part-time off spinner bowling inside the power play to a right-hander. I'd like to see KL Rahul say, thank you very much, I'll take the game from here.
Wouldn't you like to see both the openers, though? Because in today's day and age, it's less than a run a ball. It's not daunting, right? It's not a 330, it's not a 340 DK. It doesn't need to be that reckless. It is a big chase, but both the openers can really do what, maybe a Malan and a QDK have done as well. It's like, listen, let's just wait. There's no rush. Let's hang on. Let's give ourselves 15, 18 overs and see where the party goes.
True. I think the one thing that KL has done is he can take down attacks. He has the ability because he's a very all-round player. I mean, if you remember the CSK game, the last game that Kings 11 played, some of the shots that he played, chasing 150, he chased it down in 12 overs. He is the kind of player who can take a bowling. That's why you see so many bowlers actually come out and say he's the toughest batsman that they've bowled to. If you take Jofra Archer, if you take Dale Steyn, all these guys have said the toughest batsman that they've bowled to in white ball cricket is KL Rahul. There must be something special about him. Otherwise, they wouldn't be saying it. And we're talking about top-ranked fast bowlers. So he has the skill. Sometimes he takes upon the, obviously the leadership role and tries to shepherd the team and try and make it as simple as it is possible for the others. Whereas Shikhar Dhawan, I think, has a similar, very different template. He's somebody who will come if there's space on the ball. He always uses space on the ball. He's not somebody who's going to get you off to a blitzkrieg start. People have obviously seen enough of him to put the right kind of fields and bowl the right kind of lengths to keep him as quiet as possible. He'll always make sure he's batting around the 80s, 85 strike rate consistently, but he's not going to be somebody who can bat at 140, 150 in one-day cricket. No chance. He's somebody who will obviously take his time, but then has the ability to carry on, and that's what he's done well over a period of time.
Really like to see that, though, because India being down 3-0 in an ODI series, I think would just be too much for me to take. I know too much for a lot of you to take as well. But we're not thinking negative today because they're going to get it done. They're going to get it done. That's my prediction. I've not been getting any prediction right. So that's my prediction. I'm going to get it right today.
What's your prediction about Omicron and Corona? That's going to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
since you're
out on that one.
Since you're saying this is going to happen and I'm telling you this is going to happen, I thought I'd slip that in too.
DK, you know what Harsha's doing, right? Harsha, this is him rubbing it in our faces because he's got both predictions right in the first 2 games. This is him rubbing it in our faces. I see it, big brother.
No, don't drag me
1 second.
DK, why are you dragging DK into rubbing it into our faces? I'm just saying we
are the losers club. No, we are the losers. You're rubbing it in both our faces. We're the losers club. You have the arrogance of the winner of getting 2 predictions right. It's okay. We see it. This is not a good look on you, Mr. Bhogle. I'm just telling you that. Huh? It hurts. Your words are hurting us.
Chalo, ho jaye.
Chalo, let's see if you can do 3 out of 3. All right, let's see if you can do 3 out of 3. What should we do? 10 overs or 15 overs? What prediction are we doing? What are we doing? DK, I'm just saying, let's do. You want to do 10? Okay, which is our chances of becoming right are more. We're playing a game
Yeah.
with Mr. Bhogle here. We're playing a game with him. So Harsha go last. Or should we let him go first?
Whatever. Okay, I'll go first.
He's
Okay, I'll
been
go
going
first.
last actually every time. You go first now.
I'm saying win by 6 wickets with 10 balls left.
Arey, you gone there. We're just going 10 overs. What the
So
score
वो
prediction
आप
would be.
दोनों खेल लो ना. Sorry, I take that back.
No, sir. You can't. It's live. You can't take anything back.
I know. I know, it's like an email. You know, someone sends an email and says, I'm withdrawn the email, but I get both emails. I can see what they've sent over there, right? So it's that kind of thing.
This is not WhatsApp. You can't delete the message. We've seen it already.
I did that on SMS today. I sent an SMS to somebody and I thought, maybe not. I need to reword it. So I sent another and deleted it. Then I thought that delete mere paas hua. It doesn't delete in the other person's
No,
phone.
it doesn't. No. By the way, the only people sending SMSs are like Tata Finance, by the way. Nobody's using SMS anymore. I just want to tell you that. But anyway, coming back. 10 overs. What's your prediction? Come on.
Is it me or Harsha?
Harsha first.
I'm going 54 for no loss.
54, no loss. Chalo, theek hai. We'll do it without the wickets, huh? DK? We're just predicting the score.
I feel it'll be 62 for 1.
62. All right. Then I'll lowball it. I'll go to 47.
You see, you cannot say, Acha, this is what you have said. So have some strength in your conviction. Have some.
I'm not going to say 105. Whatever. I want to say 47.
No, you said
you're the
this, you
10th
said
pole.
this, so I've been saying this. Ye kya
Sir,
hai, yaar?
you are
Gaurav Kapur,
two out of two correct.
Yeah,
You've got
Gaurav
2 out of 2
Kapur.
correct. You're the tambu in our bamboo now. So I'm just taking one corner of it. That's all. Setting up a little table inside the tent. So that's it. I'm 47. Sir, आपकी छत्र छाया में सर.
इसके लिए वोट करोगे, उसके लिए वोट करोगे, इसके लिए कौन बजाए? चलो मैं इसके लिए वोट कर देता हूँ. Show some conviction.
Sir, my conviction is in your prediction. That's the conviction I'm showing. That I'm going to park my car where you're parking it because it is not a no parking. 47, 54, 62. Those are our guesses. What are yours? Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Send it to us on Twitter if you'd like to. And, we'll probably have a look at those as well. Right now, it's time for us to scoot. Are we giving the joy factor question and answer now or after the game? Whatever you say. Post? Chalo, theek hai.
Listen, your producer sits bottom left, not top left. You started looking top left, your producer. I thought producer sat bottom left.
Sir, I just elevated him. मैंने कहा तुम्हारा दर्जा तो ऊपर होगा नहीं तो तुम कुर्सी ऊपर कर लो. So that's what I've done. It's not true. He's got a pen in his hand to sign the check. You are very nice, sir. Very nice. Very decent. Very good. All right. We're going to get out of here before I put my foot any further deeper into my mouth and start tickling my tonsils. I'm going to get out of here. Big thank you to Dinesh Karthik and Harsha Bhogle. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You are watching Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you at the end of the 15th over with the Combox. For India, it's 288 to win and get one win in this series. See you in a bit.